here to this game of StarCraft that I found on reddit.com/r/castit. My name is Thaco, and here on Derelict Watcher, we will see playing as our red Zerg player, it is Chinran. And it is worth noting that he's also playing random in this game, so we'll see how well he can put together his build in this game. How really knowledgeable he is about all three matchups, all three races. But his opponent this game, as our blue Protoss player, will be Briimstone. And it's worth noting that, the PvZ matchup, not one of the easier matchups for the Zerg player at this moment, so it should test Chinran to see how well he can put together his random Zerg composition in this game, already not going for any early pools, already looking at a longer, more macro-based game. I feel that's safe to say based off the not even a 14 pool at this point. No, it looks like it is going to be a 14 pool. I totally lied. And a pretty early gate, as that looking like a 13-ish gate coming out of Briimstone there. So both players are going to have forces on the field early. 14th pool tends to be more defensive for the Zerg player. But I mean, that's good. Awesome to see out of Chinran. It's very normal to see random players at this level of play just be incredibly aggressive and cheesy with all three of their races. So it shows a deeper knowledge of the game for him right now to really be looking at a 1 base 14 pool into gas. Alright, not necessarily very aggressive yet. It can still be pretty defensive. You never know what Protoss is going to be doing to you these days. They do have a lot of early aggressive things they can do. Very early gas coming out of Briimstone there, though. Not a second gas, so I don't think we're going to see super early aggressive play out of him either, with that Cybernetics core coming in as well as a Zealot. I think it's safe to say that we won't see. There's the second gas for Briimstone. We have that one gas still for Chinran, who should be using it to get his speed up nice and early. As soon as that Cybernetics core finishes, we do see Warp Gate on the way. Still very standard there out of Briimstone, not deviating too far, not being incredibly tricksy, not going for any early aggression yet. We have the natural hatchery coming out of Chinran a little late, but that's because he was playing with this much more defensive in-base setup here with that 14 pool into an extractor, allows him to get that metabolic boost out faster, so he will have more Zerglings ready for any early phase of the game. Even going on and grabbing a very early second gas there as well, but that's because he's going for this Roach Warren, and he wants to hit a good early Roach timing. It would be my analysis of what he's going for now. Whereas his opponent's still adding on a second gateway, finishing about that's about halfway through that Warp Gate research, adding on the Mothership Core. Mothership Core so vital to all phases of Protoss play. It allows you in the early game to be very defensive with that Photon Overcharge. It allows you, there's a third gateway coming down now, is increasing the amount of potential aggression out of our Protoss player Briimstone. But like I was saying, the Mothership Core allows you to be very defensive with that Photon Overcharge. Also very aggressive with that Mass Recall ability, which means that you can go across the map and safely get out all of your units. We see the 2 gateways are done, and there is a 3-gate robo on the field, so we're going to be seeing pretty much exactly the counter to what you need to what Chinran has up. He has a lot of roaches that will be coming into the map soon as he has finished that Roach Warren. He has 2 gases on the way. Doesn't have a lair, so speed is going to be late, but he is going to be playing defensive with these 2 spine crawlers. But we are going to see for Briimstone on the map, he has a lot of Stalkers now, adding on Zealots even as well. Warp Gate just finished, so he is warping in Zealots, but he will be adding on, hopefully he will be adding Immortals out of this robotics facility. That would be the best thing for him to have. Adding on a Stargate as well. So it's a little harder to read into what exactly he's going to be going for there. But most likely Phoenixes, I want to say, added that at this point just to clean up vision and harass a little bit. If I'm wrong on that, it will probably be Void Rays. Adding on, he's just, okay, he's actually just opening up every tech option right now. I can't be certain that he's going for anything. There was some chrono on that, I feel like, because he did get an observer out and is going to be finding out what's going on the map. His opponent's actually sitting on these two bases very defensively, adding on additional spine crawlers with spore crawlers as well, so that observer is going to be picked off right away. And he doesn't have a whole lot of units yet. He does have decent saturation on his bases. He does have his lair up. He does have Gale Reconstitution just started up for his roaches, getting them that roach speed. Has full gas saturation and is getting a single evolution chamber. This play is a little harder to read into. Oracle is going to be the choice out of that Stargate, by the way. So he's going to be going for that full harass, and it's going to be quick because of those recent changes to the Oracle movement speed. And it will be effective as well because there are only queens in these mineral lines. So he's going to get at least one free reign of a mineral line before we see spine crawlers get tossed, or spore crawlers, excuse me, get tossed down and really shut down any of that Oracle plays. It does move out across the map. There is no second Oracle in production, so hopefully he's not going to be relying too heavily on these. Still, there are the Immortals being produced out of that robotics facility, as I was talking about earlier. Chinran does control the center of the map vision there, but the Oracle did avoid that pretty successfully and will get a... It's going to run into the Queen pretty quickly here on the natural. It will get a decent number, but I believe the Queen in a one-on-one fight, the Queen will lose to the Oracle, I believe, but it will come out with not enough energy to really kill a whole lot more drones. But even the Queen and the starving of the larva is important. That's five kills on drones. Not going to be able to chase down that last one for fear of that spore crawler. But 5 drone kills on a Queen, that's an Oracle that's paid for itself. That's incredibly efficient. And there, as I was talking about, we see there will be no second free Oracling as he is tossing down spore crawlers. Interestingly, not in this mineral line. There's the one in this mineral line. So this Oracle is going to be slower. It's no longer a harassment tool. It's now a utility tool. He needs to be looking for using those revelations and reveals, just using it as a form of detection. As his main army is act for Briimstone, it's starting to amass pretty well. As we see also he's choosing to go for those Blink Stalkers now. Adding Blink Stalkers into an Archon mix. Not Archon, those are Immortals. I was thinking Zealot Archon, even though there's no reason to be thinking that. He's going to have a pretty good army here. And we see a Spire as well as the Hydralisk Den coming down for Chinran. If he chooses to go for Corruptors out of that Spire, he's going to just be sorely disappointed. And usually it wouldn't be too bad of a thing to watch your Zerg player just blindly go for those Corruptors. He wants to shut down any type of Colossi play, but that's not going to help him this game as he's going for his third up here on the left-hand side as well. Briimstone just starting to get this natural base started up. It's pretty late here for him, but he's not too far, but he's actually doing wonderfully. He's up 20 supply as, I mean, Chinran is really banking a lot of gas and a decent amount of mineral, whereas Briimstone is doing a good job keeping that spent. We see that the +2 range attack is on the way for Chinran, as is the muscular augments for those Hydralisks, as that Den did just finish up, but still no real units for him. That's the Spire just finishing up. We'll see if he ever decides to go for anything out of that. But his army is seven roaches. And he's doing a good job making sure he injects every single time he can. So he has had a lot of production this game. He's just really gone for that incredibly heavy saturation on his bases. He has a lot of money and will, at the time, if he has good scouting, will, when needed, be able to craft that perfect army. That Oracle comes back in, has gotten 2-3 kills already before it goes back out as the drones are pulled, trying to get up into the main base. Up to 9 kills on that already. That is just a massive number. And there's, unfortunately, the spore crawlers that look like they will just barely not be able to kill the Oracle, as it is once again going to fly back in and get out. Nice! It gets out one last time. That's 9 kills on that already, and we see Void Rays being added into the mix here for the main army out of that Stargate. So this is just becoming an army. It's going to be very difficult for Chinran to deal with, as it's spiraling a little out of control for him. He is now starting to add on to his army because he does have his bases very well saturated. Oracle against the building. I mean, this is just not... Oh, that is so many drones. That it is just so lucky for him that there's not very much energy left on this Oracle, so can't go too much longer, but does get up to 14 kills and does put a little bit of damage onto that hatchery. I mean, the Oracle v building is not a fight that Oracle is ever going to win because it just takes it forever to kill the building. And there's the Dark Shrine. I mean, Briimstone just wants to make sure that every tech option is open to him in a phase of the game where he is a little more at his leisure to make these choices. Adding on a second robotics facility, adding in Zealot Charge, there's the armor upgrades continuing to roll in, continuing to get those saturations up on his bases, even though he's fully saturated in both bases. Briimstone just playing a great production game. Could be a little more harassed. He really could. Many points of this game have moved across the map and won. The longer this goes, the more likely it is that Chinran will be able to put up a strong fight, as he even adds on a macro hatch, still sitting at that gigantic bank. He is going to, when he is ready, that's what's important. When he is ready, Chinran is going to have the army he needs. And it looks like that time is swiftly approaching as he adds on 14 Hydralisks. I don't know if he even knows what the composition of his opponent is. Like, yeah, see, he's trying to find out now, sending out 2 Overseers across the map. He doesn't know about these Void Rays. He can assume Void Rays, though, because he has been dealing with an Oracle. So he knows a Stargate is in play. He hasn't seen Immortals. And those Immortals are just going to whittle away and just destroy all of this Roach Hydra army. It is not going to last even for a moment against him. Dark Templar are now even running across the map. There is a lot of observation on Chinran's side of the map, not really the most ability to kill the Dark Templar. So we will have to see how much damage they can do. But even still, so much damage has already been done to the worker lines of Chinran by Briimstone. Briimstone now sending in those Dark Templar, instantly noticed. Queen's trying to take them out. They go right in at that Spore Crawler. If they take that out, they'll be undetected, and they will have free reign. There they go. They have free reign over this mineral line. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-ish. Got killed off there, bringing to a total of 22 dead workers for Chinran. Briimstone just absolutely destroying these worker lines. They don't stand a chance here. Those Dark Templar got so much damage done, and now I think Briimstone knows his time is here. Briimstone knows that he can now move out across the map safely. There's his opponent down 22 drones at this point, is going to be spending the majority of his income trying to remax that worker supply, really make sure it's saturated. He also saw this unit composition as it came up here to defeat the Dark Templar, and this is where the battle will be met, right here in the middle. The problem for Briimstone is, of course, that Chinran has these spine crawlers here, but one spine crawler falls before the armies even engage. Briimstone now trying to kite off the creep and out of the range of those spine crawlers. He doesn't really want to give away that fight for free, but it looks like he's not going to have to as he goes in there, time warps the army, slowing down all of those Hydralisks, taking out 2 of those. And those Corruptors are not getting the work done against those Void Rays. If those Void Rays get free reign, they will not have a problem tearing through those armies. The Corruptors are down, Hydralisks are down, the Queens are now even falling, trying to remax desperately on Roaches. But the problem is now, of course, that there are too many Void Rays and too many Immortals here for Chinran to deal with as Briimstone goes up to try to sack the 3rd base. And it's not even going to be a fair sacking. There is no army here to try to stop him. There, the Roaches have finally popped, and they're coming back. They're going to be... they do get right up in there on those Immortals, but the Immortals are not having any trouble with them, as they are also fighting with those Void Rays. And it looks like the Roach army is now going to fall. They did take down a lot of those Zealots at the top side. Drones are being pulled now from this natural in an attempt to fight this base. I lied, those are definitely from the main. But it does not matter, as there is almost no army left here for Chinran, and there are the reinforcements out of Briimstone. That base has fallen, did not even have to fight that spine crawler on the north side, and all of those drones have fallen now as well. All of the drones out of the main base are dead now as also, and there is the just this disbelief coming out of Chinran. He cannot believe how poorly that fight went for him, but that is the power of that many Immortals and that many Void Rays. There is Corruptors. While they should be a good answer, they need to be an overwhelming mass if they're going to take out that many Void Rays. Briimstone really has just been in control of this game from minute one with that Oracle. When he got that in there, and that just did amazing amounts of damage. Chinran can still just not believe his fate here. He did not think that that would go that poorly. That is an unfortunate lack of scouting there at a Chinran, as he thought that he had been out macroing. He had really not. Granted, Briimstone's natural was pretty late, but he made up for that with incredible amounts of workers killed. Let's just take one last look at that workers killed graph. 71. He did. Let's ignore the full 71. Let's say probably that 22 were killed before the fight. And then in the fight, in the initial fight, he killed all of the workers out of the main. Just devastating worker damage was done that game. So congratulations to Briimstone on some amazing worker line harassment leading up to a very strong push. Also, great game out of Chinran. I can't lie. I mean, watching somebody play random in all three races, knowing the build that well, I mean, he did a good job with it. He just, there's some screws to be tightened, but in the end, amazing game, and I hope you will all join me for more games in the future. Thank you all. Good night.